Hello world, and welcome to the Vine Society. My name's Aaron. I'm a certified sommelier, and this is Wine 101, where I walk you through the basics of everything you need to know about wine, beer, and spirits, and a few things you didn't know you wanted to know. Today in Wine 101, we're going to cover the New World, starting with what is the New World. We're going to show you how wine came from the Old World into the New World, and we're going to look at some of the New World regions like Australia and New Zealand, South Africa, South America, and of course, Northern America hitting California and Oregon. Then we'll take a little quiz. So come on in as we discuss what is the New World. What is the New World? Well, the New World basically is anything that's not the Old World. If you've seen the Old World video, we covered countries like Italy, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Austria, Greece, the Caucasus. That's what's considered the Old World, where wine originated. New World is pretty much any place outside of that, but usually people are speaking of New Zealand, Australia, South America, South Africa, and America, the United States. How it got there was all about commerce. Back in the 1600s, the Dutch were importing wine to the rest of the world. They were the first people to really export wine outside the Old World. They, in fact, drained the region of Bordeaux, which was a big swamp, so they could build canals, and in doing that, released land that is now first growth Bordeaux wines and produce some of the most amazing wines in the world. Later on, the English, they loved French wine, and it is the English and their empire that brought winemaking and vineyards into Australia, into the United States. Thomas Jefferson, by the way, loved wine. The English also brought wine from Spain and Portugal. It was a very long, hot sea voyage, and the wine tended to spoil, so they would fortify that wine with brandy, and the result was port and Madeira, some of these dessert wines that we know and love. Thomas Jefferson loved Madeira. But let's take a look a little bit at Australia and New Zealand. The first vines were brought to Australia in 1788, but it wasn't until 1833 when a man named James Busby brought the first Syrah plants from France and planted them. Syrah is now one of the most popular wines from Australia, but down there they call it Shiraz. Most of the wines in Australia are made in the south there in Victoria and New South Wales. Across the sea a little bit in New Zealand, they are known for making very grapefruity Sauvignon Blancs, but they also grow Pinot Noir. South Africa, winemaking began even further back in 1659 when the Dutch East India Company planted vineyards. Most of the vineyards in South Africa, they're located on the Western Cape. South Africa, mostly known for Cabernet Sauvignon and the white grape, Chenin Blanc. South Africa actually has its own grape called Pinotage. It's a cross between Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Noir. Across the ocean a little bit more, there is South America. Winemaking began in Argentina back in the 1500s, so even further when the Spanish missionaries brought cuttings from home. Chile was introduced to the wine at the same time as Argentina, but it wasn't until the French varietals were introduced in the mid-1800s that they really started to see popularity. The Chilean grape, the one that they're most known for, is Carmenere. It's typically a blending grape in other regions, but it's a star in Chile. In fact, for years, Carmenere in Chile was thought to be Merlot until the 1990s when genetic testing proved that it was indeed Carmenere. And then there's the United States of America. Wine grapes first brought to the United States by the Spanish missionaries who planted mission grapes up and down the coast of California. They can still be found there. Oftentimes they grow wild. The colonists from England planted vineyards in Virginia. Several of the founding fathers actually owned vineyards. Let's take a closer look and zoom into Oregon. A beautiful country. Oregon is most famous for Pinot Noir and Chardonnay that come from the Willamette Valley, which was formed in the last ice age when a huge series of massive floods that originated in Montana cut down through Washington and Oregon, mixing all the soils up, creating perfect wine soil. Climate actually in Oregon is almost the same as it is in Burgundy in France, which is why Pinot Noir and Chardonnay grow so well there. If you remember my Old World video, by law, Burgundy grows Pinot Noir for the red grape, Chardonnay for the white grape. And if you take a line of latitude around the globe from Burgundy, it passes right through Oregon. So then California, of course, the star. California was really nothing until it was put on the map in 1976 when the French put on a blind tasting and invited the Californians over, thinking, of course, that they were going to beat them. And lo and behold, a California Cabernet and a California Chardonnay actually beat out the wine from France in what has become known as the Judgment of Paris. Sonoma and Napa Valley, of course, are the most famous California wine regions, but believe it or not, only 11% of the state's wine is made in those regions. California is mostly known for Cabernet Sauvignon and Chardonnay, but it also produces great Pinot Noirs, great red Zinfandels. So, that's New World wine in a nutshell. Let's take a quiz. What are the 5 main New World wine-producing regions? Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, South America, and the United States. What is Australia's most famous red grape, and what is that grape's original name? Shiraz, known elsewhere as Syrah. South Africa is most known for what red and white grape? Cabernet Sauvignon and Chenin Blanc. Argentina is primarily known for its bold red wines made from what grape? Malbec. For years, people thought that the main grape growing in Chile was Merlot, but genetic testing finally proved that it was actually Carmenere. What 2 grapes from Burgundy in France grow perfectly in the climate of Oregon? Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. What are the 2 most famous wine regions in California? Napa Valley and Sonoma. And finally, what are the most popular red and white grapes grown in California? Cabernet Sauvignon and Chardonnay. And for a little bit of extra credit, what is the name of the contest that put California wine on the map in 1976? That would be the Judgment of Paris. So, thank you very much for joining me on this little walk through New World wines. I hope you learned a little bit. I hope you can take this and use this in your life. And more importantly, I hope that you start to try wines from all over the New World. They're all very unique, all wonderful, and sip, savor, and enjoy. Thank you.